That's really great to hear. You mentioned China, and of course we've seen tariffs on some Australian goods in the last 12 months. In the middle of this, the prospects are certainly very positive. Does it suggest that China's impact is not as bad as previously anticipated?
Oh, look, all of our trading partners are really important to us. And China, up until when we had a bit of a tiff last year, had been a real driving force of our barley especially. But once again, through being able to find different markets and through that supply and demand equation, we have been able to come out on top. Once again, we now have to solidify those positions, really demonstrate the quality of our product and make sure we become the country of choice when people look for what we produce. And when we do talk about that, we have got a lot of environmental credentials. We have got a lot of good work that people have put in over the last generations, over the last decades, and only now we're really seeing that come to the front. And that's both in our production systems, through our marketing systems, and once again, through that supply chain that enables us to get our product around the world.
Does COVID-19 still pose a threat to the industry?
It absolutely poses a huge threat, especially around workforce. What we do need is to get as many people onto farm as possible to help take this harvest off. And that goes for all sectors. Within the sheep industry, shearing is extremely difficult under COVID conditions. Within just livestock, shifting them around, it can be very challenging going intrastate, just crossing state borders and making sure that we're managing that internally appropriately. And then even in horticulture, picking our produce is a real challenge. So any initiative that we can get workers into the right spot, anything that we can do to help farmers be the employer of choice within all sectors is something that we've still got to work towards. But COVID still has provided opportunity as well by people understanding that food just doesn't come from a supermarket. It's actually produced in the great outdoors and under the glorious conditions that we have within Australia. But it shouldn't be taken for granted that when they go into the supermarket that they've actually got a lot of power when they run that trolley up the aisle or wherever they choose to purchase from. When they buy Australian, they support Australian jobs, they support Australian businesses and ultimately Australian communities. So if one thing, COVID has taught us a lot about where our food comes from and probably made us a bit more aware of how important agriculture is to the whole economy.
It certainly is, and good to see it looking so perfect there behind you. David Jochinke, thank you for joining me this afternoon.